Hello and welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got some breaking news coming out from Russia to share with you. We're going to be talking about Russia's defense ministry, and I want to talk some more about these FAB-3000. These are glide bombs that Russia is using that they are starting to now drop on Ukraine. We have information that Russia's defense ministry is claiming that as of yesterday on July 14th, 2024, they have started to use Su-34 fighter jets to launch aerial glide bombs that are weighing 3,000 kilograms. So these are the FAB-3000 guided aerial bombs that you see right here. There's some video footage of it exploding. This video footage, I believe, is from Russia's defense ministry as well. This was released on X. We also have another interview and kind of like a short documentary that talks about these guided aerial bombs and some of the pilots that are launching these. They talk about how devastating they are. Apparently, these things can completely destroy an area of about a half of a kilometer just from one bomb. And the fragments from the explosive, when it goes off, can also launch another half a kilometer away. So up to an entire kilometer can be destroyed or at least hit just by one of these bombs targeting somewhere in Ukraine. So I want to talk some more about these today because I've talked a lot about this in the past, and I've talked about how dangerous this is to Ukraine, how effective these bombs are, and as you can see, they get dropped from an aircraft like an Su-34, and then their wings come out of the side, and then they glide, as you see right here in the footage, for tens of kilometers, okay? I don't know how far exactly they can go, but I know for sure tens of kilometers they can glide before they strike their target, and when they hit, they are absolutely devastating, okay? And it's very difficult for Ukraine to shoot these down. So they don't have very many options right now to really defend from these. We also had some information coming out from Volodymyr Zelensky that he also stated that they needed something like 24 or 25 Patriot missile systems to defend their nation. It's interesting because we just heard not too long ago that he said that 12 would be more than enough. Now it's bumping up to 25, and then after that it might be 50 or 100, who knows. But that's what Volodymyr Zelensky is stating here, that they need 25 Patriot missile systems to defend their nation. But these FAB-3000s, they also have 1500s and also 500s, are very hard to defend with air defense. So we're going to be talking some more about this today, but let's talk about Russia's defense ministry here. I've got this article pulled up on the Kyiv Independent. It says Russia claims launch of 3-ton aerial glide bombs from Su-34 jets against Ukraine. Now, this is not the very first time that they have actually used one of these, from what I understand. I believe they used one in the Kharkiv region near Vovchansk just about a month ago. I think it was somewhere around June 20th. I'll show you guys a quick article about that as well. But Russia's defense ministry is publicly coming out as of yesterday and stating that they have actually started using these. So this is big news. Russia started to use Su-34 jets to launch aerial glide bombs weighing 3,000 kilograms against Ukraine, the Russian Defense Ministry claimed on July 14th. The Russian Defense Ministry released footage that purported to show the aerial bomb known as the FAB-3000 attached to an Su-34 fighter jet and dropped on a target in Ukrainian territory. That's the video footage I just showed you guys. The FAB-3000 has a combat power that cannot be ignored, the Russian Defense Ministry said. And yes, they have come out many times, and Russia talks about how game-changing these glide bombs are going to be in this war against Ukraine. And, you know, they could just mass produce these like crazy, much quicker than they can with missiles, you know, their Kinzhal missiles or any of their cruise missiles that they have, the KH-101, it doesn't matter. These glide bombs are much easier to produce, they're cheaper to produce, and they can manufacture thousands of these, you know, in a very short amount of time. And lately, what we've been seeing coming from Volodymyr Zelensky is that Russia will drop anywhere of close to 1,000 of these per week. Okay, so that shows how much they're able to produce these compared to missiles. So it says here as well, the Kyiv Independent could not verify the claims at the time of the publication. A video shared by a pro-Kremlin blogger on June 20th first appeared to show a FAB-3000 bomb striking Lipitsy in the Kharkiv Oblast. The blogger, who reportedly has ties to the Russian Air Force, claimed the footage records records the first combat use of a FAB-3000 M54 bomb with a Universal Planning and Correction Module, which is UMPK. FAB bombs upgraded with UMPK have wings that flip out as the weapon is released by the aircraft and a satellite navigation system. Kharkiv Oblast police reported that Russian forces attacked the Kupiansk district with on May 5th with a FAB-1500 air-dropped bomb. First time a 1,500 kilogram bomb had been used since the beginning of the full-scale invasion. Okay, so even back in May, they were using the 1500s. The strike killed an 88-year-old woman and injured a 34-year-old man, unfortunately. So again, these are very devastating bombs. And now we've got reports here again that Russia's defense ministry claiming that they have now started to deploy these and they're using them inside of Ukraine now. So what we're going to start to see is these FAB-3000s landing all over the front line. And I'm curious to see how Ukraine is going to respond to this. What are they going to do to defend from this? Can they defend from this? And if they cannot, how much of a difference is this going to make on the front line? I would imagine it's going to make a very, very big difference in Russia's offensive into Ukraine. And we already been hearing lately that Russia's starting to make gains on the eastern side. They continuously do this week by week. They make small incremental gains, but they are making gains in the east. So this is what we were just talking about just a moment ago. This came out as well. Russian forces here claim to have deployed a FAB-3000 glide bomb for the first time. Okay, this was back in June 21st of 2024. Okay, so they're saying here that Russia supposedly used one of these FAB-3000s already just about a month ago, almost 1 month ago. And this is where they dropped it in the Kharkiv region. Okay, so this is when this report came out. I believe I did a whole report on this at the time when it was released. So yeah, so we know that this is not the first time that Russia has dropped one of these inside of Ukraine, considering that we just saw this video footage here too of them deploying one. But this is an announcement that they're going to start using them more heavily here moving towards the future, and that they just started releasing these into Ukraine right now. So again, that's some of the video footage there for you. I've also got a couple other things that I want to show you on X regarding this FAB-3000. And this is from Simplicius. It says, wow, new angle of the unprecedented FAB-3000 glide bomb. No nation has been crazy enough to ever put wings on something that large before. Bomb of increased power. Footage of the preparation and release of the FAB-3000. Before this, UMPC was installed on it, a universal planning and control module. Thanks to him, the bomb turns into an accurate and formidable weapon and is regularly used in the air defense zone. The FAB-3000 is an aerial bomb of increased power. It leaves behind the lunar landscape. It has a high explosive effect, so there will be very great destruction within a radius of a half a kilometer. Also, secondary fragments. The front of the leading fragment scatters up to a kilometer, said one of the Su-34 pilots who works with this bomb. So that's what I was talking about earlier. So we've got a little short documentary here, just about 1 minute and 15 seconds long. So I want you guys to take a look at this real quick. And it is going to be, I believe it's in Russian, but there will be some captions here on the screen for you. So take a look.
Это уникальные кадры, которые показывают впервые FAB-3000 с модулем планирования и коррекции, сходит с подвеса, раскрывает крылья и уходит к цели. А это подготовка царь-бомбы, как ее еще называют на аэродроме. Перевозят ее на специальных платформах. Сейчас к FAB-3000 закрепляют так называемые крылья. Это универсальный комплекс планирования и корректировки. Благодаря нему она превращается в точное, грозное оружие. Инженерное решение одновременно простое и гениальное. Внутри модуля электроника. Именно умная начинка управляет трехтонной махиной, принимает точные координаты цели и помогает подстроиться под внешние условия.
FAB-3000 – это авиационная бомба повышенного могущества. Ну и за собой она оставляет лунный ландшафт. Она обладает большим фугасным действием, так что в радиусе полукилометра будут очень большие разрушения. Ну и также вторичные осколки, фронт лидирующих осколков, до километра разлетаются осколки.
Okay, so as we can see from this video, these bombs are very destructive to Ukraine, and it's going to give Russia a massive advantage considering they already have an air force, right? Now they've got tons of these glide bombs they can be launching all over Ukraine. And again, it's going to be very hard and difficult for Ukraine to defend themselves from these attacks. So I don't know what Ukraine is going to do about this, but what I personally believe is that at some point when these 3000s, these FAB-3000s start coming out more aggressively, and we start seeing more of these dropped all over Ukraine, and Ukraine is just completely falling apart from these bombs, that is where maybe possibly the Biden administration may do a U-turn and allow Ukraine to start striking targets inside of Russian territory much deeper, like going after these airfields, because these airfields are where these fighter bombers are coming from, like these Su-34s that are launching these glide bombs into Ukrainian territory. And this is where the tide of the war may change, and we may see Ukraine being allowed to do that. But as of right now, from what I understand, the Biden administration is very worried about allowing Ukraine to do that because they don't want escalation in this war and, to drag the U.S. into this conflict. So finally, I just want to show you this real quick here too. I've shown this video here once before, but I want to show it one more time just to let you see how devastating these bombs really are. So it says here from the Euromaidan Press, this was back in June 25th, 2024. So I believe this could have been in the Vovchansk area, as it says right here. Another FAB-3000 strike on the southern part of Vovchansk, Kharkiv Oblast. Russia used these bombs for the first time on the 21st of June in Lipitsy, Kharkiv Oblast. A FAB-3000 weighs 3 tons and has a 1.2-ton warhead. So there's no sound on here, but it's just a 22-second clip, and we're going to see this bomb drop very close to this building. And just look at how devastating this is. I mean, look at that massive blaze there and the destruction just from one bomb. Okay, imagine if there was, I don't know, half of a brigade in this area from Ukrainian troops or something. They would just be completely demolished. So these are just very, very destructive bombs, and that's why Russia's producing these. It's very cheap for them to produce them compared to missiles, and that's why Volodymyr Zelensky has come out and said that they need the ability to go after these airfields, so that way they can push these fighter bombers much further away from the Ukrainian front line, and it'll also make it difficult for them to launch these glide bombs if they can also use their air defense to target inside of Russian territory as well, because then they could target these fighter bombers as they start to get close to the Ukrainian border and attempt to shoot them down at the same time. So very big issue for Ukraine, and that's why I wanted to do a video talking some more about this. I've talked a lot about these glide bombs and how Volodymyr Zelensky comes out and says that they need a solution to this problem. And obviously, one of the big things they could do right now is go after the airfields. But unfortunately, the United States is not letting them do that. We also did some reports recently, too, that apparently the new UK Prime Minister, he was stating at the NATO summit that Ukraine could use the British Storm Shadow missiles to strike inside of Russian territory. And then all of a sudden, we had a U-turn from Britain's Ministry of Defense. They came out and clarified that that was not true, that it would require many more steps to get that permission for Ukraine, and that Ukraine could not do that. So Ukraine is definitely in a tough spot right now. And again, we just heard some news that Russia's starting to take more of their territory again just today, that another village fell to the Russians. So very big news. Just wanted to share this with you. So again, just to recap, Russia's defense ministry is claiming the launch of a 3-ton aerial glide bomb in Ukraine, and that they're going to be starting to use these now. If they are now announcing that they've launched one, most likely we're going to see more of these landing in Ukraine. So let me know what you think about this topic. That's going to be it for this update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, I hope y'all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.